I was asked to do the word of encouragement this morning, and I was thinking about it, praying about it through the week, and I was reminded when I was younger, I used to run cross country. It was in the north in the fall. You'd run on like the wood chip paths and you'd smell the wood and like the crisp fall air and all the beautiful foliage. We had one particular race that stood out to me. They took us down by Lake Huron. I grew up on the Great Lakes, and they had us actually run along the beach for a significant portion of the course. And so we came out of the woods and got down onto the sand. I was going nowhere. We were running, and the ground was literally coming out from under your feet. And there were a bunch of us girls who were just like running on the spot. And so I had lots of time to think because I was going nowhere. And I look ahead, and the girl who won the race is like running like a gazelle, like nothing is going on. And I'm going like, what on earth? And so the first thought, I'm like, oh yeah, she's wearing the colors of the money school. She lives in the neighborhood where all the doctors and the lawyers are, right? And I'm like, she lives on the lake. She practices on the sand. She's got this down. And so you're like, oh, that's good. And then I'm like, oh, but wait a minute. We're running in a public park. I could run on the sand anytime I wanted, but I choose to sit at home on my butt. And so all these thoughts are going through my head. And then I have another observation. She's not running where the rest of us are not running. She went down by the shore and was running on the packed dirt that was wet from the sand and was like moving. And the rest of us are going like this, and it's like, oh, okay. So I got myself down to the wet sand, and now you had solid ground under your feet, and you could actually start running again and going someplace. And so it just made me think of life, where how often do you feel in your life that it's like you're trying to get somewhere and the ground is coming out from underneath you and you're going nowhere and you're running in the spot and you're expending energy and stress, but it's not accomplishing anything and it doesn't help. Well, in life, how do we get to the solid ground? How do you get down to the spot where it's more firm and you can move forward? And Psalm 19 came to mind, and it talks about three things. The heavens declare the glory of God. And so if you want stability, if you want to be on solid ground in your life, you need to introduce the God of creation into your life, because he created the world. He knows what goes on in it, and he's the one who's going to bring knowledge of how you can be on solid ground and not just running in place and losing your spot. And then the psalm moves in general revelation that all creation declares the glory of God, but it starts talking about God's word, so we can know about him to seek him. If we really want to know more about life, he gives us his word inspired by him that has more instructions, and it goes through and it starts talking about all of the value it brings, and that if you want to be on solid ground, you need to be in this word, you need to be reading it, you need to be living it, because it's going to give you the guide that you need for life. And then the psalm wraps up with talking about sin and how when we come to this word, we learn about God, we learn about what's life, and it helps us deal with the biggest problem we have in our life, and it's us, and it's our sin, and it solves it. How do we get to a more solid place? Knowing the God of all creation, being immersed in his word, and letting him deal with our sin.
If you like what you're hearing today, please subscribe below, and don't forget to share it on as many platforms as you can, and tell your friends to watch. Thank you.